Hello and welcome to today's presentation on Ahimsa. It's one of the yamas of yoga. And I am going to guide you through this practice. We're going to look at some research on ahimsa or nonviolence. We're going to do some breath work and we're going to do some guided meditations. My name is Kathleen Helen Lisson. I'm a lymphedema therapist. I'm board certified in therapeutic massage and body work. I'm a yoga teacher. And I'm also the author of a book called Mindful Strategies for Adults with Adverse Childhood Experiences. And that book is available on Amazon. So as we get into this presentation, I'd just like to offer a caution if you deal with overwhelming anxiety, you have breathing problems, you may have cardiovascular or blood pressure issues. This is your reminder to talk to your primary care physician before you go ahead and do any exercise or breath work practice. Make sure this practice is all right for you. And then even if usually you're fine with breath work, if today you feel anxiety, you feel lightheadedness or dizziness, a rapid heartbeat or shortness of breath, that's your body's message telling you maybe today and right now's breath work practice is not good for you. You can just go ahead and stop the breath work practice. You can listen to the research parts of the presentation and maybe return back to it later. And it's usually best to practice this type of breath work on an empty stomach. You can try practicing it in the morning before exercise or breakfast. If you find that doing a lot of breathing, like diaphragmatic breathing, deeper breathing on a full tummy is uncomfortable for you. So we'll start this presentation with a mindful moment. So I'll invite you to come into a position that's respectful yet alert. Um, Focus on perhaps your spine is straight. You can go ahead and take an easy breath. And I'll invite you, you can either keep your eyes open or closed, and go ahead and if you'd like to take that deeper breath in and a longer breath out. And then just as we're at the beginning of this presentation, just bring to mind anything that comes to mind when you think about ahimsa, nonviolence, when you think about learning more about the different limbs of yoga over just maybe the three most popular ones, which is the movement part, the breathing part, and the meditation part. And what do you think, what are you interested in learning today, especially since this is focused on massage therapists, massage therapy students? How can we, in our profession, apply ahimsa to how we come to our clients, how we come to work, to interact with our coworkers? And as we bring this short moment to a close, I'll invite you to once again take that little bit of a deeper inhale and a longer exhale. And we'll start with some asana practice. This is yoga that pairs the movements of our neck and shoulders with breathing. So I'll invite you to inhale as you look up and exhale as you look down. Inhale as you look up, exhale as you look down. Last inhale as you look up, exhale as you look down. Bring the head to neutral and then inhale as you look right. Exhale and look straight ahead. Inhale and look to the left. Exhale and look straight ahead. Inhale and look to the right. Exhale and look straight ahead. Inhale and look to the left. Exhale and look straight ahead. Last time we'll inhale while looking to the right. Exhale while looking straight ahead. And then inhale and look to the left. And then a nice exhale as we look in front. And now we'll do a little bit of a different movement where the ear will come down to the shoulder. So inhale as the ear comes down to the shoulder. Exhale and bring the head back up. Exhale, the other ear down to the shoulder. Inhale, the head back up. Inhale and exhale to the top. Inhale to the side. And exhale to the top. Last time inhaling on the right. Exhale and come back to center. Inhale that last time on the left. And then exhale and come back to center. Now let's take our hands out in front of us and roll the wrists, first in one direction, then in the other. And then take our hands and place them on our shoulders. Hands come out in front of us, stretching as we inhale, and then exhale the hands to the shoulders. Last time, inhale, stretching forward. Exhale the hands back to the shoulders. And then on the next inhale, let's roll our shoulders up and back. And exhale down and front. Inhale, roll the shoulders up and back. Exhale down to the front. Last inhale up and back. Last exhale down and to the front. And now let's reverse the motion. Inhale, coming back and to the top. Exhale, rolling front and down. Inhale and exhale. One last shoulder roll. Inhaling and then hold it at the top. Hold, 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 hold. And then a long exhale. Pushing, relaxing those shoulders down. Now I'll invite you to, if you're seated, take your hands and raise them up above your head with an inhale. And then exhale that right hand to the left knee. The left hand comes behind you into a twist. Inhale up to the top. Exhale, twist to the other side. Inhaling to the top. Exhale and twist. Inhale the hands up. Exhale and twist. Inhale, hands up in the air. Exhale and twist. Inhale, the hands up to the top. Exhale and twist. Inhale, the hands up to the top, and then take that left hand out to the side and lean over, leaning to the left, feeling the stretch down that side of our body. And then inhaling the hands up to the top again, leaning to the other side with a nice exhale. Inhale, the hands come up. Exhale, lean over to the left. Inhale, the hands come up. Exhale, and lean to the right. Then last inhale, up to the top. And then exhale the hands down to the knees. And then with the hands on the knees, I'll invite you to take the chest forward, the head up, curling the spine, arching the back, and then exhale, curl that spine, the chin to the chest. Inhale into a seated cow position. Exhale into a cat position. Inhale up to a seated cow. Exhale to a cat. Let's inhale one last time with our final cow. And exhale into our final cat. And return the spine to neutral. We've kind of warmed up the neck, warmed up the arms, moved our spine, hopefully got ourselves a little bit warm so we can relax into the breath work and the learning. So let's start this next part of the presentation with the stop technique. So I'll invite you to stop what you're doing for just a moment and pay attention as you take the next breath in. And observe, what are your current feelings and emotions? Are there any notable physical sensations in your body? We don't need to change or judge them. We're just observing them. And then I'll invite us to proceed. And we'll move on into the big question that brought us all here. What is ahimsa? So it's this concept of nonviolence. And when we traditionally think of what is nonviolence, something big that comes up a lot is not eating meat, but is it more than just being a vegetarian? This concept of nonviolence, how can we bring it into other areas of our life? It also means don't murder other people. Many crimes can be violent. So I think we can all say that ahimsa would be, don't commit murder. But what about bullying? Is there some ahimsa happening when people are bullied, when people are attacked? And is there also ahimsa when we talk about somebody behind their back, when we're sharing that juicy gossip? Is that a form of violence? And what do all of these practices of ahimsa, if we're going to take them on, what impact is that going to have with us, whether we're in massage school or whether we're into our career as a massage therapist? Can we practice ahimsa when meeting our clients, when meeting our fellow students? And more importantly, maybe most importantly, because this career is often cut short due to injury, can we practice ahimsa or nonviolence with ourselves at the same time as we're providing the treatment that our clients need in a way that is not going to have a negative effect on our own bodies? So looking at the history of the concept of ahimsa, we see it, especially as coming to us from the yoga literature, from the yoga tradition. We start seeing it mentioned in the Upanishads. We see it mentioned in the Vedas, and then Patanjali himself in their writing also is mentioning it as well. And we can think of, when we start to think a little bit deeper on what nonviolence is and why we need nonviolence, is why it's the very first yama. It's the very first limb of yoga and the very first yama of the limbs of yoga. And the ahimsa is, according to Sarkar in 2022, a necessary practice towards our self-realization journey. We can't just jump straight into making postures, doing breath work, meditating. We have to focus on the yamas and the niyamas as part of our self-realization journey, how we are dealing with others in our community, in our surroundings. And it's also seen to be something that is laying the foundation for higher levels of yoga. So if anyone feels stuck in their yoga practice, it's always a good thing to look at all the limbs of yoga and see how we can have a deeper practice and not just try to do things only on the mat. And also, we've seen spoken about in the literature this concept of ahimsa or nonviolence as resulting in when we have a strong practice, when we're deeply rooted in nonviolence, we're giving off harmonious vibrations. And if it's strong enough, it may cause people around us to lose their own hostility. And it seems like a fantastic gift to be able to give others. And I'll invite you to just take a moment to think in your life have you ever been to someone who was very advanced in their religion or spirituality, someone who's very rooted in nonviolence? And did you get a vibe off of that person? Was it just so beautiful and peaceful to be in their presence that just being in their presence kind of changed the way you thought and you acted in the world as well? So I love the idea of the practice of ahimsa. Not only are we helping in our own self-realization journey, but if we're deeply rooted in this practice, just our presence can also help others. So let's get started with our first meditation. We'll learn more and we'll see more clues as to why I chose a loving kindness meditation as we get deeper into nonviolence research, but let's practice it right out of the gate. So I'll invite you to take a position that's respectful yet relaxed and alert. Your eyes can be open or closed. And we'll just do a short meditation. So I'll invite us to start by taking a deeper breath in and a longer breath out. And I will repeat these phrases that are on the screen to help guide our meditation. So first, I'll invite you to think of a being that's easy to love. This can be someone who's alive or dead. It can be a human. It can be a pet. Just someone you have an uncomplicated relationship with. Someone it will be very easy to wish them well. And I'll invite you to bring that being to mind. And then we'll say the following phrases to that being. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be safe. And may you have ease of being. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be safe. And may you have ease of being. And now I'll invite you to turn the focus towards yourself. This can be difficult for a lot of people. So if you have difficulty wishing yourself well, I'll invite you to think of a loved one whispering these phrases in your ear. May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I be safe. And may I have ease of being. May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I be safe. And may I have ease of being. And now I'd like to invite us to spread our awareness to all beings on earth, thinking of everyone. I'll invite you to say these phrases with me. May all beings be happy. May all beings be healthy. May all beings be safe. And may all beings have ease of being. May all beings be happy. May all beings be healthy. May all beings be safe. And may all beings have an ease of being. And as we bring this meditation to a close, I'll invite you to take a deeper breath in and a longer breath out. And I'll invite you to feel into your heart, feel into your soul, feel into your spirit. How did that short meditation change the way you feel? And then we'll move on to looking at what Patanjali says. And now we'll focus on Himsa itself, this concept of violence. And Sarkar in 2022 shares with us that violence may arise in our life due to constant cravings to acquire things from the outside. And it's this craving and aversions from things that are new. So not wanting things to change, not wanting to adjust to things that are new. And this very difficult one for a lot of us, not feeling satisfied even after fulfilling all the desires. And finally, violence may arise from sorrow, from fear, and from delusion. So this was a very, very informative slide for me. I'm very glad that I found this research because really this is, if we can put our finger on what the core concept is, why are we feeling these feelings of violence? And not just violence to murder somebody, but violence to want to push away things and create ourselves harm, because that's what happens when we feel this himsa, this violence, is you get that stress response in your body. And from a physiology perspective, this stress response in the body is affecting our homeostasis as a being. So if we're feeling these constant cravings where we have to go and get more things from outside, versus feeling like we're whole and complete as we are. If we're feeling this constant aversion to try to push away anything that is new, and just imagine that for a moment, this aversion, this frustration with things, new things, things changing, why can't things be the same? How does that feel in our body? This feeling of not feeling satisfied even after we fulfilled all our desires. So we're we're warm, we're dry, all the bills are paid, and we've completed everything. The belly is full, and we're still somehow not satisfied. We need more. We feel like it's not done yet, it's not over yet. And that feeling of dissatisfaction is having a chemical experience in our body. It's making us feel these things. The cravings to acquire things is making us feel this craving in our body. And sorrow, fear, and delusion are having these chemical effects on our body, on our well-being. And that our reaction to this is could be to create violence. So this can be really, if we want to put our finger on the core things that we really need to look at and examine, it may be these four things. But the good news is that there might be a little bit of a chicken and egg theory when it comes to how are we going to bring the value of ahimsa in our life. And it's interesting because we can see that satisfaction and the lack of fear. So if we become satisfied, everything is fine in this moment. I feel complete gratitude and satisfaction with what is happening to me, with my place in life, with where I am today. And I don't feel any fear. If you can imagine those things being present in your body, that can bring us great peace of mind. And on the other side of that coin, feeling this equanimity, this peace of mind can result. So if we start with feeling peace of mind, that can actually result in the follow-on feelings of feeling satisfied because we have this peace of mind. We find that we're easier to satisfy, and we find that we have a lack of fear. We have less fear. If you go into a situation where you have peace of mind, you're able to make better decisions, right? You're able to see things clear. You're not flying off the handle because you have this peace of mind that you brought into whatever situation it is with you. And sometimes if you come into a situation where you're satisfied with everything, you're not scared of anything. And you'll find that that is going to bring, even though whatever is out there is happening in this moment, you can still bring to that moment a wonderful peace of mind. So this is an interesting chicken and egg theory. And I think it's great that it's a chicken and egg theory because then we can choose to focus on mindfulness practices that can bring us a lack of fear, that can bring satisfaction. If what we want is peace of mind, or we can focus on mindfulness practices focused on equanimity if we want to find these results of being more satisfied with situations and having a lack of fear with situations that we come across. So let's look at, with this wonderful picture of a massage room, how are we going to bring this nonviolence to the workplace? And the researchers suggest taking conscious nonviolent action. So this would be someone is coming, whether it's a coworker, whether it's a client, someone in our community, is coming to us with something that we used to react with some kind of verbal violence, with some kind of, God forbid, physical violence. And the choice is that we can take instead conscious nonviolent actions. So that looks like responding positively to our adversaries versus reacting violently, whether that would be belittling them, gossiping about them, complaining about them, taking this kind of action that would work to destroy them or harm them. Instead, can we respond positively to them and respond in a way that self-empowers us? We're focused on our own self-empowerment instead of focused on proving them wrong and possibly dehumanizing them. So taking ourselves as the focus and responding positively because we have the choice of how we respond, and responding in a way to empower ourselves and let ourselves understand more versus dehumanizing them and belittling the opponent. So looking now at a Buddhist version of nonviolence, so what do the Buddhists say versus what does the yoga theory say? So in the Buddhist way, they are looking at physical nonviolence. They are looking at mental and emotional well-being when it comes to nonviolence. And they're looking at loving kindness meditation, which we just practiced the loving kindness meditation. And they're also looking at compassion, feeling compassion towards the person as an activity that can promote nonviolence. So let's turn now to a breathing practice. So we'll try 5-5 breathing. I'll invite you to begin in a relaxed yet alert position. Your eyes can be either open or closed. And we're going to start by exhaling fully, and then we're going to inhale for a count of 5 and exhale for a count of 5. So we're going to repeat it for about 5 minutes. It'll be about 30 breaths total, and you don't have to worry. I'll keep the time and I'll guide us when to inhale and when to exhale. So we can start with a full exhalation and then inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, 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 exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. 1 minute left. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Last inhale and last exhale. That was a little bit over 30 breaths, but we repeated it for about 5 minutes. And I'll invite you to take a minute to feel into your body after this little bit longer breathwork practice. How do you feel? And now we'll move on to a self-compassion meditation. I'll invite you to sit in a position that's respectful, yet relaxed. Your eyes can be open or closed. And we'll start by taking a deeper breath. Inhale and a longer exhale. And I'll invite you to become aware of your body. And notice any sensations that are present. I'll invite you to place a hand on your chest. And silently repeat to yourself, it is hard to be a massage therapist. And for a lot of us, that's both true and maybe not true, but we can focus on the ways that it feels right and in some way it doesn't feel right. And we can hold both those things at the same time. The invitation is to see if you can hold that in your heart. And know that there's no need to change what you are experiencing right now. And I'll invite you to repeat to yourself, I am not alone. Every massage therapist struggles sometime. And it's a part of being human. I am not alone. Every massage therapist struggles sometimes. And it's a part of being human. And I'll invite you to repeat to yourself, may I accept myself as I am. May I accept myself as I am. And if it's difficult to accept yourself as you are, I'll invite you to think about what you would say to a friend who is a massage therapist. Sometimes it's easier for us to give compassion to others than give compassion to ourselves. And I'll invite you to inhale in self-compassion and exhale out what no longer serves you. Inhaling in self-compassion and exhaling out what no longer serves you. And I'll invite you to take a moment now to feel the self-compassion that you have created in this short meditation. And I'll invite you to once again become aware of your body and just be curious about where in your body can you feel self-compassion when it happens. Maybe you can feel it in your heart, in your torso. Just being curious when you feel self-compassion towards yourself, where is that feeling in your body? Is it a softening of the muscles? Then once again, we can inhale in self-compassion and exhale out what no longer serves us. And take a deeper breath in as we complete this short meditation, and a longer breath out. If your eyes are closed, you can open them up again. And we'll turn our focus now to how we can bring these skills of nonviolence into our life at massage school, into our life at work with our coworkers, into our studio with our clients. So the research author has some tips on how to practice nonviolence. The first tip would be to anchor into the self. A lot of times, when someone attacks us verbally, physically, when we hear that someone's gossiped us, when we feel this feeling of danger, this message has come to us, that we feel outside of ourselves, off balance. So the first thing we need to do is come back into balance, anchor into ourselves, feel ourselves in our bodies, and then make observations when we do talk about what happened in our feelings. Make those observations with a calm mind. So we're not acting out of anxiety, we're not acting out of frustration, we're acting with a calm mind. And then decide a course of action. So we are taking control, we're looking at our own self-empowerment, we are deciding the course of action we're going to take. And then we're keeping control of the situation as best we can, and especially of our reaction to the situation. Sometimes that's the only thing we have control over, is our reaction to the situation. It's important, these are lofty goals, but it's important to hold no grudge, to be ready to forgive. Because if we won't be able to forgive them, then why should they move forward and do anything as far as asking for forgiveness? If it's an absolute unforgivable thing, then there's nothing that we can do to change the situation. But in many situations, we can forgive if they are taking the right action and we're seeing why they did what they did. We can possibly move forward to not hold a grudge, to understand that this person was maybe having a difficult day, and if they understand what they did wrong and they want to take remedies to steps to make it better, that maybe that could be something that we can forgive. So be ready to forgive if its forgiveness is warranted. And understand that our ability to forgive is our humane quality. That's what makes us human, is that we have the ability to forgive. So what about specifically if you're in massage school? What wisdom can we take? Um, and this is Ahimsa in education in general, but we can definitely specialize it to massage school. And the author recommends courses on mindfulness and compassion practices alongside traditional subjects because they've been found to enhance emotional intelligence and resilience among students. So if there is a course on mindfulness, on compassion practices, that would be a great way for you as a massage student. If you're involved in massage school as a teacher or instructor, it would be great to have this. And I did teach an upper level mindfulness class at the massage school that I taught at. And it can enhance the emotional intelligence and resilience among the students of the school. And teachers trained in these methods of mindfulness and compassion report greater engagement and cooperation in classrooms as students learn to navigate conflicts with a non-violent mindset. So now as we close out the practice, I'll invite us to do a 5-minute practice of Nadi Shodhana. This is alternate nostril breathing. And I'll share this image for a few more seconds so you can clearly see the hand position. So the first index and middle fingers are at the base of the thumb, and then the thumb itself and the ring finger are what is going to close off either nostril so you can breathe through the other nostril. So I'll invite you to take a similar hand position with your hand as we get ready to practice Nadi Shodhana. And we'll start by sitting in a comfortable yet alert position with a straight spine. You can close your eyes if that feels comfortable. And we'll start by taking a few diaphragmatic breaths. And we'll take our hand held in that mudra and close the right nostril with your thumb, exhaling through the left. Inhale through that left nostril, and then close the left nostril with the ring finger, exhaling through the right. and then inhaling through the right. So that is one complete cycle. So then we'd move back to the top of those bolded instructions, closing the right nostril with the thumb, exhaling, then inhaling through the left nostril, exhaling through the right nostril, and then inhaling again through the right nostril. So we'll repeat this cycle for 5 minutes. I'll keep the time, but for this type of breathing, you will yourself keep the pace, inhaling as long as it takes you to inhale and exhaling as long as it takes you to exhale. And I will let you know when the 5 minutes are over. We're about halfway through. You may have noticed that the breathing is getting slower and gentler as you're becoming more calm and settling into this practice. That's perfectly fine. If at any time you lose your way, these directions in bold are always here for you. We have 1 minute left. So I'll invite you to join me by closing your right nostril with your thumb and exhaling through your left. Inhaling through your left nostril. Closing your left nostril and exhaling through the right. Inhaling through the right. And then closing the practice by exhaling through your left nostril. And that was 5 minutes. I'll invite you to release your hand and take a few deep breaths through both nostrils before we end this practice. And feel in for a moment how you feel. And now we'll move into a short awareness of sound meditation. So your eyes can remain open or closed. And I'll invite you to focus on sounds in your environment. The sounds first in the room with you. So we're listening to sounds inside of the room that we're in. Now I'll invite you to turn your attention to sounds that are from outside of your space. So noting sounds that are farther away, sounds from outside of your room. Now I'll invite you to bring your awareness wider and just be aware of all sounds in your environment. Sounds that are coming from inside your body, sounds from close by inside your room, and sounds that are farther away outside of your room. We're being receptive to all sounds in our environment. And now, as we bring this short meditation to a close, I'll invite you to take a deeper breath in, a longer breath out, and open your eyes if they were closed. And as you look around, note any changes in sight, sound, or emotions that you have. And as we come to the end of this entire practice, we've been together for about an hour. We've learned about the principles of nonviolence. We've looked a little bit at what researchers say we can do to be more nonviolent in our communications with others. We've looked at some of the research on the core things that happen that can result in violence. And I've invited you, and I'll invite you again, and this is something we really have to practice on a daily basis, is think about how you can bring nonviolence to the way that you yourself practice massage. There's so much the client may want more than we can give, the employer may want more than we can give. We want to give more than maybe our body is able to handle. And understanding that nonviolence has to begin with us. It has to begin with protecting our tools that we use, our hands, our shoulders, our elbows, our thumbs, and our mind and our well-being, because we have to bring our best selves into the office with each one of our clients. And that means taking care of our own self-care before we're looking someone else in the eye and asking them to take their own self-care into hand. So just giving you a moment here to feel into your body, your mind, your spirit after this practice. And I'd like to share some resources for you. If you want a continuing education credit, I'm an NCB TMB approved provider. There's a free online 1 CE class at this website address, being present for our clients, mindfulness for massage therapists, that I invite you to take. And I'd like to thank you for watching the Yoga for Massage Therapists series. There's more breathwork break and yoga break videos at this address. And you can find me on Instagram at stress reduction for lymphedema. Thank you so much and have a great day.